Hi everyone, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. I know you've waited a while, but this is the Fiio BTR5, my review. I've taken a month of using this day in day out before I've decided to do this video because I didn't want to rush it. If you're new, hello, good to see you. Welcome back everyone else. And let's go check this out. Quick delve into what you get in terms of the hardware. Also looking at the app and the features of the app, and at the end obviously we'll talk about sound quality, the most important part. So let's go for it. So taking a closer look at the box, it's pretty straightforward to be honest. You get a little box here, tells you what's in there, does Qualcomm aptX HD, does LDAC as well, and it's high-res audio. And if you open the box, take this out, you get the device itself, which is in there, but obviously taken out. And let's lift that out. This is a quick start guide, and there's the charged USB cable in there and some manuals. Again, I've taken the USB lead out, but that's it. What you do get, I'll show you the device very quickly. This is the device itself. It comes with this little clip case type thing. I haven't taken it off. I just think it's just quite handy to have on all the time because it clips to my clothing. Quite nice. You've got your various buttons here, your power, go into the menus, play, pause, encore, volume up, down, and combination of some of these buttons you can do your next track. I'll explain that when I show you the actual app that you can use with this. So that's that. On this side is the charge USB-C, which is really good, and also if you want to use it as a USB DAC, you would connect it in that method. You can turn off in the menus via the app, or using the menus on this device itself, so it doesn't charge. You've got 3.5 and 2.5. Now, you tap once, it shows you the volume, which you can turn up and down, and if you press and hold for a couple of seconds, you're now into the menu system. So here you can adjust the gain. You've got charge on or off. Now you need to turn this off when you're connecting to an iOS device. It won't work as a USB DAC if you don't turn this off. Hang on. Let's go back. On Android, some phones may need that off as well. Car mode. You can change the USB options here. So you can do USB 1 or 2. Just leave it as it is, it should be fine. Dim, you can adjust the dimming display. It's quite handy. The EQ, you can scroll through the various options. I'll show you on the app the options there. It's a lot easier to see. You can change the filter on here, which is quite handy. And back to the firmware version. And there we go. Now if you want to come out of this, you just press and hold for a couple of seconds and you're back out and that display will shoot off. It's a very straightforward device. It's quite small. If I put it up against penknife, you can see the difference here. This is the Hi-Fi audio hip DAC, and again you can see the difference there. You know, it's quite a lot smaller than the Hi-Fi audio hip DAC. Some might be asking, does this hip DAC sound better than this thing? Yes, of course it does. But this does one thing, it's USB only. This does have the convenience of Bluetooth, but the sound quality, way better. But there's a difference of opinion and size. So let's talk more about the audio quality of the various different headphones. So one thing you get with the Fiio Music app, that's just come out, it's got the Fiio Music app, is you have something called, if I come right out of this, in the settings, your Fiio BT control, and it is really unusual how it connects. At the moment it's connected, but when you first try and connect it, you have to go in, press and hold the power button, and then release and hit cancel. But it does explain how that all works. Hang on a sec, let me just go back in. And here we go. So what is nice about the BTR5 is that you have this app both on iOS and on Android, and it tells you a lot of stuff. So you can have charge on until device restarts. Now if you're going to connect the BTR5 as a USB DAC to an iPhone, you need to turn the charge off option. You can do it from the menu, which I've shown you already. So here you would plug in, then you plug a cable that goes into the USB, but you do need to keep this charge light off. That might help with some Android devices as well. You've got car mode. Let's just put slide that to about 6 minutes. You can select the Bluetooth codec. So if you're having trouble with a particular phone on a particular codec, you could deselect the options as well. LED power off. You've got equalizer here, so if you turn it on, you've got presets. You can do your custom. I don't find I need this, to be honest, but your mileage may vary. Audio control, this is quite interesting. You can put the ohms of your headphones, their sensitivity. You can then have the adjustments here for the volume of the actual Fiio, and it'll tell you what it believes the actual output and everything will be for that. You can adjust the low pass filter, so you've got different options here. It does select the one it feels is the best to start off with, and again your personal it does make a difference, but it's so hard to tell on some stuff that I'll just leave that and let it ride. Distortion compensation, let me just put that back to 0. Options there. Second harmonic compensation, third harmonic. This is the quality of the DAC clock divider. I'll leave it on the maximum. If you have a look at the options, it tells you what all the buttons do, which is really good. So A is power off, reset, activate the menu, switch to sub menus. B is reconnect, play pause, answer phone call, end call, cancel call, force the device into pairing mode, activate Siri, that's what it's meant to say, and switch to sub menus. You can also do, there's various combinations for the volume up, down, tracks and stuff like that. I, NFC detecting errors on the front, but again it does show you, as I've already explained when I ran through everything. So it shows you power off, it tells you how all the functions work. The bit that's interesting is, if I come down, is the volume up, down to click the C, stroke D, turn up, turn the volume down. But if you want to switch songs, where are we? You hold the button C and D for about 2 seconds to switch to the previous next song. And that's not as obvious as you think, but that's how you do it. Anyway, let's talk more about the sound quality. Sound quality, what's this like? Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about the 3.5mm. And I've used Ranger headphones. I've got covered in, all tangled up in their cables. That should never be the case. The Sennheiser HD 599. These are 50 ohms, and this little thing drives that quite nicely. That's actually quite a good complement. I would say, even though you can drive higher, harder to drive headphones, I wouldn't go any more than 150 ohms. In fact, I would drop it just under. Make sure if you do drive 150 ohms, the sensitivity is reasonably good as well. The sort of AKG K4371s, I think that's what they're called. Can never remember what these are, but they're the sort of new ones. I do like these actually. They have a very nice sound. I also have, pick this up. These are the Fiio FA7s in 2.5. I've tested them in the 2.5 and 3.5. So I'm going to talk about what they sound like. I've also used this as a USB DAC as well. In fact, I'll cover off the USB DAC section first. Actually, as a USB DAC, this sounds better in that wide mode than using the Bluetooth. No surprises there. If you're using this on iOS in particular, you have to go, as I explained before, into the menu, turn the charge off, and then it will work with iOS. Some Android phones might benefit from that as well, but as a USB DAC it does work the best and sound the best, and it will cover off the sound quality as well. In terms of Bluetooth, if you're using the 2.5mm balanced, I would say that's where it has the edge over the BTR3, and that's where the real leap in the quality comes, so there's a big difference. So it marginally does sound better than the BTR3, but it's not. If you've got the BTR3 and you have no balanced headphones, just stick to the BTR3. It does the job, sounds good. But this is slightly nicer sounding. And if you put different types of headphones, so the first thing is it sounds pretty good on iOS. It sounds even better on an Android phone with a higher codec. So if you're using aptX HD or if you're using LDAC material, you do get the full benefit of the extra quality you can get through this. I think it's very versatile. I do like the clip where it just, you can just clip it on, no problem at all, to your clothing and stuff like that, which is why I wouldn't even bother with the leather case. I just quite like having the versatility of that clip. So in terms of sound quality, because you can adjust the filters, which make very, very minor differences and are quite hard to hear, it does produce, the treble's nice, it's not a harsh treble, it can be quite detailed. There's more detail and resolution in the balanced. In terms of the mid-range, you've got a nice clear mid-range as well. Soundstage is reasonable, kind of reasonable little soundstage, and it's got a punchy bass. Again, if you needed to tweak, you can turn on that EQ. I personally haven't bothered with the EQ, to be honest, but you can adjust the EQ. You can have your own custom EQ, so you can have the sound exactly as you want. So it's a very versatile little thing, and actually, as a Bluetooth little portable Bluetooth, make your wired headphones connect your wired headphones into Bluetooth to your, in particular, probably phone. I think this is a no-brainer. I really do. I'll leave the Amazon link down below where you can check out some of the specs in a bit more detail as well. But needless to say, it can drive most IEMs pretty straightforward. You can drive headphones, I would say, I would go up to about 100-ish ohms relatively easily. But if there's something in particular, because obviously your music taste or something, you might have a particular question, I'll try and do my best to answer. I don't have any questions that aren't answered one way or the other. But I do like it, and this has been my de facto Bluetooth side. You could even look at, with a bit of Velcro, if you took that off, you could actually have it permanently on your headband, for example. I'll put it around the right way, it might help. And simple, even have a short wire cable up to it, and then you've got your perfect solution. There are probably, I would actually use some, not Velcro, but there's some double-sided stuff you can stick on that really grips it aggressively, that would glue to the back of this. I use it on some other stuff, and that would work really well. And this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Any questions, you know what to do. Catch you guys soon. Bye for now.